As you look across social media and as you see some of the content that these women are putting up, it isn't completely clear what it has to do with one another, what all this different type of content has to do with one another. But one thing is clear is that whether these women like it or not, it is sending clear messages to a large majority of men out there.
On my way to a first date, we matched on Hinge. I know nothing besides he's good looking and Christian. This is what I'm wearing, and I'm very excited. I'm actually not nervous. I feel like I used to think first dates were so scary, and I'm confident in who I am, and it's really just getting to know someone and deciding if you want to be around them again. So there's no nerves. I'm really hungry. That did not go well. Very nice guy, very sweet, very handsome, very attractive, very successful. But I feel like I was just like talked at for the last 2 hours. The dinner was great, but I was just like, talked at. Not compatible. On to the next.
See, nobody cares. Nice hat.
This is the atmosphere that these women have cultivated with online dating. This is a very sad story that you see where women they'll get all dressed up. They will put themselves, put their makeup on, whatever these women do for these top tier men. Then they go on the date after they've matched. They're super excited. They're super lucky they found a good looking man that is a Christian and that is 6'4", and they get to talking to these men, and they realize that these aren't the type of men that they want. And then you wonder why these women only save these types of men for those special nights, certain nights of the week where they're able to get away from the regular guy that's been simping over her for her to slide between the sheets with some random Tyrone dude that talks her head off, and she finds not interesting in one bit. A lot of times on dating websites, this is something women will never understand, but men get very few dates. Even the top tier dudes, like a real date, it's few and far between. And some of these guys do, obviously, but so when you have a first date and you have these men talking these women's heads off, what do you think they're trying to do? These men are trying to prove their worth to these women, is what these men are trying to do. Because whether you like it or not, dating, especially online dating, it is just a glorified job application for women. They're looking for a man that has the assets. They're looking for a man that meets a certain criteria that fits in with their and their friends' social structure, trying to make sure all the pieces fit, so to speak. But what they don't realize is that these men do like to talk about themselves. And maybe it wasn't an ego thing. Maybe these men could have been nervous. This man could have been a little nervous. Wouldn't have been a big deal. A woman gets nervous and she shuts down these men. There's a lot of pressure to keep the conversation rolling, keep the conversation going. She's not participating in that conversation, so now she's being talked at. I was very interested in looking at these comments. I don't really look at a lot of comments anymore, but I felt very interested in looking at some of these comments, so we're going to take a peek real quick. You see how much energy this man took from her? Literally energy sucker, right? She is drained. Exactly. That's what you realize, how some people just suck your energy and drain you. Seeing her after made me feel drained too. Yes, if she was this exhausted after just a meal, imagine after a couple of years. Then Home of Quotes posted, "You don't know. He might be nervous." Fair enough. Might be nervous. Another commenter said, "And how much she took from his pocket. A meal is poor compensation for the energy he took from her." The energy he took. Look at how they talk about going on dates. They say, oh, well, the man has to. This basically says, oh, the man paying for the meal is nothing compared to the energy he sucked from her. That's not how any of this works. This is so sad. This is the echo chamber these women are in right here. Look at these replies. It's exhausting too because you're doing circles in your mind as he's talking to you. Or maybe you can just join in the conversation. Not at all. Some guys just shy on the first date and can't think of everything they want to say until they're comfortable with you. Exactly. You should be listening, not doing circles in your mind. Well, it doesn't work like that. They want us to guide the conversation. But if we feeling shy, we can't function at 100%. Women aren't therapists. If you want to talk without having to engage with another person, I suggest journaling. I'm kind of thinking he was just having a conversation and she didn't want to participate. His POV, she was such a great listener. G.I. Joe, yes, sometimes we men want to be heard. Timing was off with being first date, but we enjoy sharing too. On the first date, sir, we are not your therapist. Again, he was probably just as nervous. Do you know his self-esteem? I've been guilty of talking too much when in front of what I deem an attractive woman. So now these women are equating first dates to therapy. They think they're therapists. Yes, I hate being talked at. That happened with a guy I went out with, and I feel like I knew everything about him, but he knew nothing about me because he didn't ask. Why aren't these women talking is the perfect question here. I don't know why these women aren't talking. And honestly, it's none of my business. Women sure do like to paint the narrative that they are, I'm going to use the word victim very loosely in this text because she painted herself as one of those. And it was just a first date with a top tier dude. So this is the narrative they're painting now. This is just a small insight into the fantasies and the fairy tales that these women like to spend on social media, especially when they have a bunch of other ill-informed women gassing her up in the comments. It happens a lot more than you think.
He's right. Do you know that?
I coined a term. It's called quiet dating, and it's essentially dating, but not telling anyone about it. There are absolutely no recaps. The date does not require any brain space outside of the date. Let me tell you why. Because when you are dating multiple people or like trying to find somebody, what you end up doing is you start selling yourself on the guy. You know what I mean? So when you're recapping it to your friends, you'll be like, then he opened the door, and then he looked me in my eyes, and then he paid for the date. And it's like he's doing things that he should be doing because he's courting you, but you're like selling him to your friends. So then you're upselling him to yourself, and then you're creating this ridiculous version of this man that probably doesn't even exist. Anyway, so I like to do this thing called quiet dating, where it's just like, you're just going on dates, you're just meeting people, and then when you're done, you zip it, keep those lips locked. We are not recapping the date with anyone but Jesus up here. That's it. Because you don't need to upsell yourself on anyone. You just need to take it for what it is, observe, and go on with your life. Anyway, quiet dating. Try it if you are the boy crazy type. I swear to God, you will learn something about yourself and the men that you've been dating and have been telling yourself that they are the one. All 12 of them are the one.
He is 100% completely honest in this video. Some of these women have 12, 14, sometimes 16 guys on rotation. And every day is a different position. One night it's blowing her back out. The next night it's vertical pipes. The next night it's horizontal pipe, dog position. The next night it's butterfly wings. Every night it's different with these men, and they're on weekly rotations. It's like working offshore. One week is one team, the next week is the other team. And they just dog back and forth. She's basically a receptacle. She is a receptacle at this point. So now they are spreading this narrative, which again, you got to understand, this is another narrative. They're saying, oh, we don't want to tell our friends about the men that we're hooking up with randomly because every time we do, it ruins it. It ruins the potential relationship with these men. No. We're not going to be going down that road, lady. We all know exactly what you're doing. And here's the truth. The truth is that these women are embarrassed by all of the random men that they're hooking up with, that they are having these nights with. They're not telling their friends because their friends are their biggest haters. See, this is what women will not tell you. Their friends are their biggest haters. So the next good guy that comes around, the next nice guy, the next simp, the next payroll, they want to snatch in between the sheets to get some of that sweet green. Let me tell you something. Her friends are going to be first in line telling that man, look, hey, she got dogged down by 90 other dudes last year. I'd wrap it up if I was you. That's exactly the type of comments these women send. I'm not lying. So now these women are having to hide their gentleman callers from their friends because of potential risk. And I'm be honest with you, let's just say the pool that these women are fishing from, it's not as good as it used to be. These men are not as attractive. They don't have as much money. They're still making six figures, but on the low end. I don't know if you've seen the videos, but 100K isn't cutting it anymore. And these women are having to scrape the bottom of the barrel. These types of men, they got the receding hairlines, they got the dad bod, and they are potentially these women are settling to be with these types of men, and they don't want to tell their friends because they're embarrassed. They are definitely embarrassed. But But again, I wanted to snoop through the comments and let's see what everyone else is saying. Landon says, I stopped telling my friends because I got tired of telling them it didn't work out. That's a really good cope. Oh, a lot of these are cope, by the way, but we're going to go through. The evil eye is so real, private until permanent, and never save his number till it's official. These women in their phones, they'll put you as tanned man number 1 or bought me a Starbucks on 2 days after my birthday, or they won't have your real name in their contacts. It'll just be what you did for them at the moment so they know what to get out of you later. I'm not popping out with him until we're married, 10 plus years deep, and even then, it might be a soft launch. They're talking about revealing these men on social media. This is, these men, they get in these relationships with these women, and then before you know it, they're laying pipe with Susan next door, and then all of a sudden these women have to backstep out of it and basically tell all their friends that, yeah, I picked another bad one. My mistake, my bad. But as we all know, women don't take accountability for stuff like this. It's always the man. He's the narcissist. He manipulated them to do all this. I did quiet dating twice and they both ended in 2 months. Quiet dating has nothing to do. You can't just say a random thing and have it and think that it coincides with something completely different. Whether or not people know that you're getting raw dogged by random men has no impact on whether those random men are going to choose you or not. And hey, spoiler alert, they're not going to choose you because you're literally the type of woman that goes around and lays with random men. Why would a man want you when he has plenty of you? He has so many of you. He has plenty of you waiting for his call, waiting for his nightly knocks. Like these women, they have 14, 16 different dudes. They're on rotation. Every night's a different position. These women are never short of their daily cardio, put it that way. Hannah and Coco says, but recapping the date with my friends is more fun than going on the date. Well, these women, they make fun of these men, obviously. A lot of times it's not even true. As I've said plenty of times on this channel, these women have no problem lying to social media. They have no problem lying to their friends. And the biggest problem I see is these same types of women. These same types of women will have no problem lying to themselves. They will take this lie and implant it into their brain. That while it's planted in their brain, it will grow and create this fantastic fairy tale for their brain to flood their panties over. And it's nonstop. This is a common thing with women on social media. It is honestly, if I had a list of red flags, it would be up at the very top. Social media, up at the very top. If she's on it, if she's using it, if she's posting videos, if she's looking at a camera talking to it, if she's putting on makeup and describing her life, biggest red flag you can get for a man. Stay away, stay far away. But let me know what you guys think. That's going to be the end of today's video. Comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Rat Boy out.